Hey guys, welcome back to another video here today. We have Season 3 of Chicago Bears Rebuild as we do trade for Jake Fromm, a backup. No, we trade him away. And Nick Mullins. We trade a bunch of people away before we even get started. Before we get started with the depth chart, Nick Mullins goes for it first. Don't remember what team to. Oh, it does say. Fuck, I'm stupid. Atkins is out, Roquan is out, and a first round pick is out for Leonard Fournette. We need a power back. He's going to be that power back. Gabriel Jenkins Goldman for Cox Johnson and a fourth, a backup, and then there's two guys that were coming off contract. I didn't really want to keep them around. I figured, hey, let's get some of the bigger pieces in here. Let's get something that we can actually work with. Mabry's going to be starting over Trubisky, Gurley, Fournette, Lindsay. I probably should have started Fournette looking back now, but whatever. We were actually looking at moving Gurley to fullback for a little bit just to get him some play time, but that's not going to happen here today. So we do have Jones, Robinson, Ridley, Bourne, Robinson, and then Howard as our sixth wide receiver. I couldn't think straight. By the time you guys are watching this, this will probably be up. Today is what is today the second? First? Today is the first. So first episode of Chicago Bears Rebuild would have been coming out today, which means you guys won't see this until at least the 5th, maybe probably the 7th. I am recording 6 episodes of various stuff. I think I'm going to get started here soon on the 50-year rebuild. I think that's going to be a fun little project to do once again. Hopefully we can actually get there. I think I'm just going to name it 20-year rebuild at this point. I think 20 years is fine. 20 years we'll get all the players out, and we'll get a whole ton of new players in. Of course, I'm going to put a little bit more behind the scenes work into that, hopefully developing, better progression rates and stuff. I'm going to have a slider set hopefully coming out soon with more and more Carolina Panthers games coming out. Going to have rebuilds continually coming out, Panther stuff coming out, XP sliders coming out, roster updates still coming. Got to get working on that 20 roster. I'm slacking behind a little bit. I need to catch up on that a little bit. Not a whole ton happening on 2K stuff, but I'm going to provide those weekly updates. Hopefully I can get back on those weekly updates, so keep that in mind. So this was a fun rebuild. This might have been one of the greatest teams I've ever assembled. I don't know if I was just finessing the trade system really well, or if I was trading people at the right time, or if it was because I got Awuzie and Gurley and a bunch of people on 550K contract. I didn't get a whole ton. I guess I only had Awuzie, Xavier Woods. Those were probably the two big ones. Had my special teams locked up, so I didn't have to worry about them. My QB developed super duper nicely, so didn't have to worry about that. We did have two running backs, but then again, Gurley gets replaced in a couple seasons. You'll see why. We didn't really have a whole ton of people on 550K contracts this time around, because I normally have like a couple linebackers, a couple O linemen. Didn't have a whole ton. And I'll have a video discussing on how I do my rebuilds and what I like to look at and stuff to try to show you guys what to do and show you guys how you guys can get better. I don't want to go into too much detail there. I got some GTA stuff coming out. Of course, after the resets and stuff, I did get reset. If you guys did not know, hopefully that video will be out in the next couple days. I have some discussion videos coming out. I have some other stuff coming out. I have another series on GTA that I want to produce and stuff. But with work and trying to get a new job and everything, it does get stressful at times. I'm not saying it's a bad job. I'm not saying this is a bad hobby. I want to get into this. I want to try to make this a career. I know that's the wrong way to go into it, but hey, I'm willing to work. I'm willing to put in the work. So, whatever. So, I'm not complaining. Editing's decent. It's not great. I'm still working on figuring out all the kinks and everything, getting everything set up. Of course, I can only do so much as the PlayStation permits me to, as well as Share Factory. So keep that in mind. Let me know down below, what is your favorite team to rebuild in Madden 21 so far? I don't know if you've done multiples or if there's a team that you're planning on doing a franchise mode with, kinda. I don't know if there's a team that you're looking to have fun with. I guess I could announce who I think I'm going to go with for the, longer rebuild, the like 20 or 50 year rebuild. it's between two teams right now. Well, even there's a third team that I'm slowly looking at. One team is the Jets. We did a rebuild of them last year, Madden 20. They were one of my rebuilds that I did. They have a terrible roster. Don't know what Sam Darnold was about. Le'Veon Bell is aging fairly quickly. Wide receivers, it's a shit show. They just lost Robbie Anderson, who I wasn't a big fan of anyway, so he's out. Jamison Crowder has performed year in and year out in Madden anyway, but, you know, can he replicate that? Here's something that was really cool, was look at the rush yards and rush totals, as well as the receiving totals. We went off this year, and I'm pretty sure this was the rookie quarterback's year, and I'm going to put this out there. Better stats are fucking coming. Not for the fourth wide receiver, well, fourth pass catcher, but Julio Jones was arguably the worst wide receiver on the team, and he had a phenomenal year. Lane Johnson, of course, we can't fix O-line issues. Roquan and D'Angelo Polk each had 110 tackles each. Tackles for loss, 17 for Brian Burns, 13 for Cox, 11 for Mack. I didn't remember seeing those 17 for Burns. 12.5 sacks for Cox, 12 for Mack, 7.5 for PJ Hall, so he really stepped up. 2.5 for Roquan and D'Angelo Polk, and then Brian Burns only with 1.5, which was really weird. I don't know if it's the playbook I'm using. I don't know. Is there a good 4-3 playbook that you guys have been using? Because I keep going back to Seattle, and it just isn't producing as well as it has in recent years. Forced fumbles, we only forced 4, but we only recovered 1, so that's even more disappointing. Blocks, we had 1 from Epineza, we had no safeties, and we had no touchdowns. Will Lutz was 95% with 2 blocks, so he went 57 of 58 basically, and he also went 16 of 18 from field goals. Matt Hawk is great. I think I said Matt Hawk was kicking field goals. It was Will Lutz, you dumb fuck. Yeah, so Mabry had a very good year. Very, very good year. I'm pretty sure this is his rookie year. Yeah, it's his rookie year because we went from Trubisky to Mullins back to Mabry. So he was second in MVP voting. We finished 5th in Coach of the Year voting. He won Offensive Player of the Year for NFC, which is very, very nice. Always great to see. Defensive Player of the Year, Roquan at, 4? Nobody else. Mabry wins also Rookie of the Year for us on offense. And then Polk wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. So that's always great to see when your 2 best rookies that you brought in come out produced and they get you those 2 Rookie of the Years, which can help them develop a lot. I think that's a big key thing. Some people want to bring them in and just like kind of use it realistically, like, oh, he's not a good pass coverage guy. Maybe he shouldn't be playing sub linebacker, you know, because he's a 2 overall slower than, you know, so-and-so. Don't fucking start him. Unless you got like Roquan like me where he is, I think, superstar at this point. Don't do that, or you're just messing up the development. Because trust me, if they do not have star after the 3rd year, you basically have to trade them. If they do not have star, you have to trade them. And see, that's one thing that I've seen with Madden YouTubers is they don't trade many pieces after like the 2nd or 3rd year. They don't trade people off of contract. They go, fuck it, they're just going to regress at this point, and I'm just going to keep them. Which I always never understood. Like, I'll watch somebody do a rebuild, and they'll just sit there. Team's looking real nice. The biggest weak spot right now is Burns and Hall, just for the simple fact that Hall is the lowest overall, and Burns did not produce. He's still not producing. You could say other positions, but I think those are the 2 biggest weaknesses around the team. We did go into the Rams game. We did sim it a little bit. I did try to make a comeback. Didn't quite get it. You know, playing on 50-50 sliders, it's always tough. And that's why I need to figure out my sliders for Carolina Panthers so that when I'm doing rebuilds, I'm not getting screwed out of shit. So yeah. We lost 20-15. We had much better yards. They had just better takeaways. So that sucks. For free agency, Kelsey and Ingram were both 1-year guys. I think I tried to bring back Kelsey eventually, but I don't think I did. We do have 7,000 XP in Coach XP. Yeah, I don't remember if I brought... Yeah, because we also didn't have any money. because I was trying to look at this. I was like, maybe it's because his money is up. I don't know. I tried looking at it. It did not look like we were going to get anybody back, which is fine with me. We needed to retool, and we did, which was great. Whenever you can retool after a good season, especially a season like that, it's always great. So we tried to go after a tight end, a safety, and 2 centers. I needed a backup safety. I needed a center to come in, and couldn't get either one. We did pick up Isaiah Simmons' 5th-year option, which would push his back. A.J. Terrell's 5th year came up, and I did not want it. He did not progress the way I thought he would. Granted, when you have 2 guys starting over him, he can't really progress either way. But he did have his chance rookie year, so don't say he didn't. Pouncey and Moreau were the 2 guys that signed. We did end up trading for Barkley. The Giants were interested, so we traded him. We did end up trading for Zach Martin. We traded some of our rest of the picks away. And we traded the rest of the picks for a pick of next year. So that was pretty good. These were our draft picks. I forgot to really record the draft picks part, so this will just have to do. I just went in and started looking at people. We drafted 3 ends in total. They all looked very, very nice. They all had their sets and how good they were. Camp has the hidden development trait, so he'll probably get the start. Hayden was the best overall, so he was the best coming out of the class. And then Byers just looked really good, but he just didn't turn out to be that great. We did draft a center and a defensive tackle. I don't remember if we drafted something else. This was a QB I ended up looking at, but realized I'm just going to stick with Mabry, see what he can do for another year. He had a really good year last year. I don't want to screw that up. Glad I didn't. And we also drafted a tight end who I think ended up having a superstar that I didn't even see until season 5, and I was really mad about that. Brian Burns, Shaq Mason, and a 6th go to the Colts for 2 1s. Just didn't want him anymore. Guys coming off contracts and stuff. Ogba, Ford, and a 1st of next year, I think, gets us Garfield, a center superstar from the Titans. Epineza and 2 firsts get us DeAndre Hopkins. Julio Jones and a 1st and a 2nd get us Matthew Ioannidis. Retooling that defensive line a little bit, trying to get it a little better. Lindsay and a Fetty get me Travis Kelce. So the first couple trades were cap clearing, and then Julio Jones was cap clearing to bring in Kelce. Seals Jones, a 7th and a 6th, gets me a 2 from the Colts. So going back to the Colts, trading with them, getting some more stuff from them. They're getting some stuff from us. Jake Butt, Anthony Walker, and a 1st gets us CGJ, 86 overall, strong safety from the Saints. Very good player, very, very good player. Hopefully he can develop in the Panthers franchise so that we have a solid safety. We didn't need another backup middle linebacker, and I didn't feel like really signing one, and Shaq Quarterman was only like $1 million, so I figured why not. Anthony Hayden looks big and fucking massive. If we didn't have Khalil Mack, he would be starting on the other side of camp. But we do have Khalil Mack, so he will be a backup. He is the best overall starting off the season, but I don't think he'll be the best overall by the end of the season. David Camp out of Washington, he looks amazing as well. Number pick isn't that great, but whatever. His position is subject to change based on which side he rushes the passer better, as Khalil Mack doesn't really change. Cam Cook was moving over to left guard because I was planning on trying to get some stuff done with him and hopefully start him, but in a little bit or later down the road, I ended up not starting him. Justin Byers, he's going to be our 3rd end. He's just overall a good guy. I don't think he's going to be anything special for us, and he'll probably be off the team within 3 years if we do go to 6, which we did not. Marcus Willis, awesome name, looks good. I feel like he could have been starting for us if it was a couple years sooner, but it is not. And if we didn't have OJ for cheap, and if we didn't have anybody else. Anyway, with that being said, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Yes, I know the name for this defensive tackle is weird. I'm out. Peace.